afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, master of propaganda, hero of Reich, defender of the fatherland. We're off here to an exciting 1 vs 1 on Holotny Ferma Winter. We shall be watching Panzergrenadier Angreifen here with mechanized assault, Festung armor, and Jäger armor here fighting for Deutschland for the Kampfgruppe Heinrich. With MG and infantry bullets here versus Spanky fighting for the United States of America for the 2nd Armored Division here with armor doctrine chosen. We've got major bulletins, we've got infantry bulletins there as well, and we got some assault engineers here arriving right off the bat. The assault engineers being a more specialized units there with the Americans. The regular engineers, well, not really being meant for combat, though occasionally they would still get drawn into it, which actually happened during Operation North when some of their units were lacking infantry actually support the armor, so an infantry engineer company was moved out instead. It did not work out well, and in fact netted the Germans 1 company's worth of Sherman tanks afterwards. We got, by the way, here noting here, dual pioneers start from Angreifen, grabbing a lot more territory there, versus the Amerikanen, 2 Pionieren. We got some grenadier here following up. We also got a bit of early barbed wire, in fact using the assault engineers to lay down some as well there. Got a bit of engagement here. We got the pioneers engaging the rear, so quickly falling back into the building. Not bad, not bad. We got our soldiers moving ahead. While we got some other pioneers things southwards, grenadiers saying northwards here. Interesting opening there from Angreifen versus Spanky. Now looks like the soldiers are moving north to support here. Moving up there with their grease guns and attempt at basically making a cheaper submachine gun than Thompson, though which was powerful, was somewhat expensive to make. The grease gun was cheaper, though it did have a few of its own flaws. But was still actually quite potent since it used the same caliber ammunition. But we got some pioneers taking losses there. Ultimately the grenadiers and the pioneers doing a bit much here, but still managed to push back the pioneers. Rearslum providing covering fire there from the building. Rifle moving up there with M1 Garage, and the grenadiers are suppressed out in the open. They do manage to get the fuel pump, that's not going to last for long. Additional grenadier here gaining the south there, since all of the effort from Spanky was moving towards the north. The south has been left largely safe here for Deutschland. We got an MG42 there arriving for Angreifen rather rapidly while the echelons moving towards there. Rifle hang back, they're getting back that fuel point. We got the assault units already here reinforcing for the glory of Uncle Sam. Ah, pounding the pooch. Hopefully that's not a literal one. Anyways, Rifle moving up negative cover, going up versus the Grenadiers. Taking quite a few losses. That's not really going to work out for Spanky unless he gets grenades to quickly clear out the Grenadiers. Otherwise, Germany's finest infantry here, at least in this sector for the time being, will win this engagement. Though we got some soldiers moving up. Can they get close enough? They already had one down. Looks like the elements will be close. There we go. They will probably be able to win the engagement. There we go. We got the Grenadiers run off the field. We got more Grenadiers moving in here. Once more, the assault engineers will be pushed off most likely, unless you can use them to buy enough time for the Grenadier to flank in. They probably should get into proper cover there just in case. South, though, getting increasingly German. With some rather aggressive MG42 here played by Angreifen. He needs to be a bit careful with that, otherwise that could backfire on him, and he could end up giving an MG42 there to the Yankees. There you go, setting up. Setting up. No tech up there so far from Spanky. No grenades or anything either, I believe. No weapons added. Just reinforcements constantly in part. Angreifen, though, keeps up the assault here. The Kampfgruppe keeps advancing. And we actually got a rather large S-mine field up here using some that we need to sort of quickly slow down. He's not safe preparing for an early vehicle rush. He's just doing what he can here to basically make it harder for Spanky's infantry more out on the battlefield, which is also an interesting approach. It's certainly rarer to see, though, versus the Americans from the Wehrmacht, but there you go. Pushing forward here for the forward position there from Angreifen, basically trying his best to keep Spanky a bit occupied. I'm guessing you're basically Angreifen trying to gain as much territory as humanly possible before whatever Spanky gets tries and pushing it back, because again, that's something the Americans can do. So that is Angreifen's approach here, sort of trying to overcome, and so far it's actually doing pretty well, though still he should consider Tellerman here and there to maybe catch whatever vehicle, whatever might come for him. But he's holding up, he's slowly getting older here, getting bled out by Spanky. But he's holding on here, he's holding on even as Angreifen continues to move elsewhere. Rather aggressive. We got another series of S-mines here. I mean, he's really basically just laying down some large minefields here on the flanks. Got some flamethrowers up here for Spanky. We got the Lieutenant out. That could quickly mean an M20 here for Spanky and the United States of America. Go straight for the cut-off point there. Straight for the jugular. Rear echelons are not holding up so well in the building. The MG42 crew held up behind a dead horse. Keeps holding the line here. Yeah, I'm surprised how good a frozen horse is for cover. Better than it tastes, I suppose. Anyways, MG42 moving up, clearing out. Better than meat, but anyways. Forced away there. Almost got her though, almost got her pretty close there for Spanky, but not quite there either. We've got the cut off there, so now we got Spanky here pulling off a bit of counter-attack there again. The MG42 is a bit risky, but at the same time noting here, only 2 grenadiers and MG42. So I mean, considering the small force he used, he was actually able to push back Spanky quite successfully. And now we actually got an aggressive take up there with the scout cut already on the way here for him before even Spanky's able to get one out. So that's actually some pretty rare Wehrmacht play there from Angreifen. Begun the grenadiers being pushed away by the assault engineers. Pushing forwards there. Almost got a wipe there, almost. 7 kills on a flamethrower. Pioneers moving straight into line of fire. They're quickly holding up behind a small wooden cart before they themselves got pushed off, and we almost got victory to here for the assault engineers. And there you go. 2-1 arrives here though. By 1944-45, not a lot of 2-1s were being made. They were basically being stopped in production since it was only really good on roads, and they were rather replacing it by either 234s or 250s, which were also being converted into scout cars, usually with the same gun as the 222, by the way. Little fun fact, they got this also being up. But strange on MG42. Bad day for those men, but they do manage to get into cover here before they get shredded, and they do have range there on the flamethrower to get the MG42 crew. That could actually get kind of badly, but there we go. Scout car driving. 2-1 moves ahead. So it's about hunting down those armies. And there we go. Looks like we got some more S-mod fields in there. In fact, he's really aggressively laying down. In this case, he was actually laying it down in the expected retreat path behind his opponent, basically hoping to catch him in from there. So we're really seeing Angreifen here being very mean towards Spanky's infantry. I mean, it's been some time since we've seen such aggressive S-man play. And he's really being aggressive. Well, in this case, the M20 did clear out to avoid the Lieutenant actually being wiped out. They'll potentially wiped out, then retreat by the S-mines there. So that was nicely done there. We are seeing, of course, Angreifen losing ground here and there. It seems to have worked a bit for the time being. No upgrade there for the 2-1. Of course, that's a bit the problem with all those S-mines. They do prevent him from upgrading the scout car. And there we go. More S-mines there going off, leaving several men not feeling very happy there on retreat. Pioneers up north though, into a bit of trouble. Got the 50 cover, they're striking there. Spanky hitting left and right. He could consider laying down some mines there to capture any German vehicles. Damage anything on the 2-1. No further response here from Angreifen. No Panzer up there. Kanonis, half-track was a Panzer Grenadier, or even a scout car. There we go. More S-mines went off there. Not quite wiping any units in this case. Fortunate for Spanky, but still leaving them in a slightly further worse off condition. Panzer Grenadier arriving. Still no doctrine from Angreifen. MG42 there pushed off the field. And we got a blizzard soon hitting the battlefield as the assault is moving ahead. M20 pulling back. And there we go, church swiftly evacuated as the threat of fire looms over the Grenadiers occupying it. 2-1 fit for the fight again, MG42 moving out here. And there we go, Panzer Grenadiere arriving für Deutschland mit Sturmgewehrs. Southern point there, secured, retreating. Looks like Angreifen's expecting an assault there from Spanky through the centre, setting up the MG42 in preparation. Scout coming in as well. But looks like the effort's acted here towards the flanks, and there we go. Minesweepers up, going to clear out all those mines that Angreifen had so painstakingly laid out.
Winter conditions are affecting the lines. All units are to take immediate action.
But certainly a bit of back and forth so far here between the two. Counter-attack here for the south. Using the blizzard again, sort of gain a bit of chance to get closer here, and there you go. Riflemen are forced to evacuate the battlefield as the Panzergrenadier supporting the pioneers arrive. Southern fuel point was going to be gained. If only he had the ability to lay down some sandbags, he could fortify this area, but he's gone for armour, which does not allow for that. Panzer going to hit a bit of trouble with the M20. Extra kill there gained. No tech up so far from Spanky, could consider it.
The Germans just cut off our supply lines.
And maybe getting something extra. A fuel cache could also be of help to him. And there we go, we got the Major on the way. Major is on the way. There we go. M20 getting off more kills, in this case wrecking down several pioneers, leaving them dead or dying in the snow while these horsemen moving from the north here. Nice flank there. Catching a bit here. Angreifen's positions from the side in a position where they weren't quite expecting it. Angreifen, by the way, in a decent position to actually consider taking up right now and get some armor versus a permanent, to sort of prepare for it. A quick Stug or maybe an attempt at a Panzer IV could work out pretty well there, I think, for Angreifen. Rather than hitting this range to the 221. Bit of light shooting going on there. And a Pack 40 as well. We got an M6 mine being yanked down by the M20. Ever potent, ever lethal. Spank here doing his best to sort of deny his opponent vital fuel, and we actually got the Panzer arriving, flanking him from the south, catching the riflemen there from the rear and forcing them away. Those seems like you said, straight there for the fuel. Push in here, continuing to change, but there we go. We got a really strong push in here. Barely any territory left in the front. We couldn't even see the MD-42 there being lost to the rifleman. And there we go. M20 got the MD-42. Mark trying to use the gunners here, but he could risk losing more men on it. Oh dear, and there we go. Forced retreat, and MD-42 they handed over to the United States Army. A dreadful blow right there to Angreifen. Plus, of course, that scout car has been lost. And an MD-42 dropped here. This is terrible. This is terrible. He doesn't really have many options, in particular he hasn't taken up. He could play, of course, what a lot of Wehrmacht players tend to do when basically anything that's slightly sour. That is go for a mechanized assault and rush into Stugi, in particular since his opponent is somewhat unprepared for it, with only a single mine there sort of laid down. So that could work out. Another option, I suppose, could be waiting for a command chain from Festering Armor, or Jaeger Armor doesn't really, though, actually offer anything really necessary for him at the moment. We're seeing another 2-1 though arriving here for Angreifen. An interesting move there, a bit rarer to see a player like that bother with another scout car. Utility car there falling back. Looks like some more mines went off there, leaving a few more Americans writhing in agony as they find parts of their anatomy no longer where it was supposed to be. Looks like a mine was spotted up here already. Angreifen, of course, thinking ahead, realizing with an M20 about, there's likely going to be anti-tank mines and certainly not taking any chances there. So that's lovely. Except, of course, Spank, who just wasted the munitions on that. There you go, Pioneer spotted here. Veterans won there. 14 kills already, by the way, on that M20. Not bad, not bad. Southern push continues. Getting the Pack 40 support here. Clearly worried there'll be a strike from Spanky towards that. And we got the M4 setting up into cover in advance. 2-1 setting up there, striking into the centre. And then being met with some rather fierce resistance there from the Americans. And there we go, MD-42 covering the front, I think stops the American advance from proceeding further. The scout coming taking advantage of that, and we got the Pack 40 getting off a few good shots, so not really too much reason. You know, Fritz, maybe we should stop wasting ammunition on heading troops already in King's Pest. Maybe. Additional guns there to replace the ones lost there. Despite those heavy losses, Angreifen keeps up the push, and he's basically also, note, he's not just attacking in one space, he's always sort of trying to sort of push here and there. Though with a sort of more specific push in one place, but even then there's maneuver going on. He's not just, you know, mindlessly hammering away. We got Spank here doing his best sort of delay the advance here from Angreifen, but not quite succeeding. The assault is actually pushed back with Panzergrenadiers from the south. That was actually a bit of a surprise, to be honest. Got grenades up here. Interesting enough, he could, you know, go on for some early armor. Shan, for example, would have done him quite help well here versus Spanky, or even as I mean, for Angreifen, or a Scott could even added a bit of punch there, but no such thing there from Spanky so far. 2-1 here, might get the MD42, and there we go. Handed it over, handed it over. Bit too late there from Spanky. That would certainly end up giving Angreifen then 2 MD42s. Which would certainly be a lot of firepower then to mount versus Spanky and his infantry. It would certainly make it a bit hard for him to maneuver about the battlefield, so that would overall be a good grab there, and there we go. Still, maintaining a strong position. We got Brownings, by the way, now also upgrades. So actually, interesting enough, he's focusing up upgrades on the infantry. Perhaps not quite pushing again for an arm advantage, which I think could gain himself then push further against Angreifen. And there we go, though. Getting the Sherman now. No response here from Angreifen, though. He's not even tagged up. Could it be he might be playing for a Tiger than from the mechanized assault? In which case, he might as well go for it now. There we go. Nope, getting a Stugi hier, Sturmgeschütz-Ausführung E. Which, per this point, war had largely been phased out except for a few reconnaissance, or well, training units, not reconnaissance. We're using it here and there, scattered throughout the Reich. Definitely something you should not be attacking into as an American player, so not as a Sword either, but with the American smaller scopes, they are more vulnerable to the Stugis high close rounds. There we go. M43 Sherman. A few more mines in the right place, I think could be a good move for Spanky. If he's got the munitions, that is. Oh dear. Too slow there. And wiped.
We lost an infantry unit. They got wiped out. Taking flanking fire.
And trying to move north here, dealing with the pioneers there. Panzer gonna be hanging about, and we got the M43 Sherman moving up there as well. Forcing Angreifen to fall back from the north.
Capture point is being overrun. Sherman ready to go.
Instead, a bit of a belt here, cutting off the fuel, and then I suppose afterwards taking it. High close rounds up. There we go. Grenadiers there in a lot of trouble. We could see a wipe there. We could see a wipe. A devilish blow then to be inflicted there against Angreifen. Looks like they do manage to escape here. The MD42 though, on the other hand, might not. Got Stugi moving up. Shot bouncing in there, not really much penetrative power there behind those shots at all. And there you go, Pack 40 on the other hand does have that. Does force Spanky there to move his Sherman away out of its arc of fire. He could try and flank up through the south here. He's got access here to an M10 tank destroyer, which could be used here to help versus the Stugi, but also the scout car there for low price. Could be used, though probably won't. MD42 there in a bad position, easily being knocked out there by the Stugi. It looks like we got some rifle there drawing fire away from it, allowing the crew to get away. Heroically there. The 10 tank from the north did damage the scout car, not the Stugi. I would have figured the Stugi would be the target there. Pack 40 heading south, leaving the center home to the Sherman then to attack. He could also try and get a Sherman here with a bulldozer and bigger gun. No corpus Stugi out. You should also know then there's a very high likelihood then Angreifen is going to play for a Tiger, since that is what most players do when they go for mechanized assault and get a Stugi, but nothing else really. Very rarely will they then sort of bother considering taking up, which does mostly tend to make for less an interesting play after you've seen it for the 100th time. We got a captain on the way there. An interesting decision there from Spanky. I would have figured he might try for play from armor. It looks like Zukas maybe wants to get an anti-tank gun. Or a pack out here to help deal with Angreifen. There goes Stugi moving in. 10 kills already, by the way. Halfway to victory too. M20 there repaired. Fully functional. Quick grenade here, MG42 in the church in a rather poor position there. Overall, Spanky keeps up the pressure here versus Angreifen. There's a very dangerous nucleus here in Angreifen towards that Sugi and Scout Car Ace. Doing a lot of damage there to Spanky's infantry. He's not really doing a lot to specifically deal with it right at the moment here. Those trying to sort of outmaneuver and sort of catch everything else, leaving us less support for the time being. Needs to be careful with the M20, don't try to lose. There we go, MG42 lost. And there you go, Pack 4, he cleared out there as well. Oh, he's trying to recruit round from the Sugi though. He should be moving up the shot and then to quick down. And there we go, rapidly cleared out. Bit of a poor idea there, I think. Bring the Pack 40 that closely up. Stugi trying to get another Pack 40 here, firing away from the south. He could lay down the smoke screen there using the rifleman or the Sherman. And that way then focus on the Stugi completely. Anti-tank rifle going off there. He's really intent on knocking it out. And he's moving up. Needs to be careful with the Sherman though. Need to be careful. There we go. Stugi cooked up. Nothing done there about the Pack 40 allowing the Pack fell to get off these shots there versus Sherman's there. He might lose it. He might lose it. Come on, Spanky. Lay down the smoke screen. Ah, too late. Too late. Much too late there for the Sherman. Had he laid down one earlier, again I think some riflemen could easily lay down one there with Pack 40. Wouldn't quite end up like that. Now instead we got a Stugi moving hit grenadiers. The Sherman is gone. There's an MG42 left about. Spanky's got the stronger force, but he's lacking something to do with Stugi. So it is rather risky for Angreifen to rush out another Stugi here. Pack 40 there. Cleared out again. Captain there flanking M20 firing in as well. Got another Pack 40 there moving up to deal with things. M20 needs to get out of there though before it gets knocked out. Well, the wreckage of the Sherman heroically absorbed several hits there. Going for that Pack 40 again. Would suggest pulling it back maybe to sort of hit sort of quite better covering position, covering fire. Pack 40 there in trouble. Captain forced away. Got the Pack 40 there firing away at the Germans. Now Panzer Grenadiers charging forwards. Oh, they're veterans, you know what? Yet I think. Oh, good lord! Lieutenant wiped out. BAR drop there. That's going to hurt Spanky a bit. And again, moving in at M20. Need to be careful. They need to be careful. Spanky needs to be careful. He doesn't get too reckless here versus Angreifen at the moment. Even if he does hold the advantage. And there you go. M20 lost right from there. Almost wiped out. That's exactly the sort of stuff one is talking about. And there you go, Pack 40 left out and it's open. Quick regained here by Angreifen. No, it looks like he does move in, for the kill. Panzer moving in to finish off the bloody job, and there we go, Pack 40 once more in German hands. We got regular anti-tank now here for Spanky, for him at least regular. What will Spanky's next move here be versus Angreifen? In the second Stug, it's almost stretching too as well. It looks like he could, I suppose, be playing here for the Bulldozer Sherman with some heavier firepower versus the infantry. Lots of firepower here from the rifle, quick pushing off the Grenadiers. He's overall doing a good job then, denying fuel to Angreifen, maintaining strong map control. But he is suffering some heavy casualties from time to time, which does give Angreifen a chance of getting back in the fight. And there you go, Vector 2 on the Sturmgeschütz number 2. Immer mehr Schützen. And we've got a Jackson on the way there for Spanky. Now Bulldozer, but it's Jackson that's certainly also going to be able to deal here with the Stugi quite handily. Also points less than 100 at the moment there for Spanky. Less than 100. No, not for Spanky, but Angreifen. They keep messing them up for some reason in mind. I want Spanky to be the German player. Not sure why. I suppose because I haven't seen Angreifen play the game for some time, so now he's back. But anyways, current situation is Angreifen is very much under pressure. He's getting off some good hits here and there versus Spanky, and Spanky's force actually taking quite a hitting there for the moment, which does give Angreifen a bit of a chance there to push back, in particular with the Stugi, since Spanky keeps sort of throwing with his anti-tank guns, which he captures and not getting up further enough, or will basically not getting his armor. Reckon that regard, there's a few sort of tactical mistakes there by Spanky, which does ever again allow Angreifen a chance of getting back on the field, and overall he's doing a good job. Then again, also note, he never sort of just pushes in one spot. He always sort of go for the broad push and hit here and there. Though of course there's still going to be a singular push, but it's never just the push. and certainly with some nuance and maneuverability to it. For Angreifen, though, he's going to definitely need to be a lot more sustainable force in the longer run. Part of it would say take up, part of it could also go, you know, he could go for the Tiger, though he would definitely benefit from getting a fuel cache up. Then at the very least, a mortar would also be a good choice, sort of try and drain out Spanky's life in the process. For Spanky, that's a bit more with the challenge. He suffered rather heavy losses there versus Angreifen at the moment. He could definitely consider upgrading his rifle there with some BARs, increasing their firepower further versus Angreifen's infantry, and perhaps another lieutenant would also be a good choice. Getting him another BAR as well, by the way. After the Jackson, though, maybe a Scott or a Sherman, but the Scott, though, would certainly be the cheaper choice for sort of helping deal with the infantry and the support weapons, sort of from a nice distance. I think that could do Spanky quite well. And a part of me might also think, you know, get another M20 and try to sort of lay down some more mines here and there during the battle, so that way, you know, when the Tiger does come, if it does come, you know, it can quickly be disabled and knocked out. So that could also be a good choice there for Spanky, but overall, he needs to be a bit careful there with his infantry. He needs to sort of take that Stug E more seriously, because it does rather feel like he's not really seeing it as much of a threat, which is a bit odd. But there you go, of course, that's just my interpretation of things. He, of course, might have another opinion as to why he did what he did. But he certainly, you know, we are seeing a resurgence here from Angreifen again, despite, you know, being in a very bad position again. Spanky got a bit overconfident, and Angreifen now sort of taking him to task for that, though it is very much still looking like a victory here for Spanky, since victory points are very much in his advantage, very much so. There you go, Stug E took one hell of a hit there from the M1 anti-tank gun.
Germans down to 75 points. A capture point is being overrun. Winter conditions are affecting the lines.
Stug E, the moving range of the captain, if only the captain could see. There you go, opening up there on the Grenadiers instead. Shot fires, but misses the Stug E, and there you go, forced retreat right into the open and right into the line of the Sturmgeschütz, and there we go. Captain, though, specifically survives this. Then he gets cut down by the machine guns instead. And there you go, almost lost the captain. Looks like the M40 here will be able to finish it off. Oh, no! I think that was a Pack 40 actually, the Stug E either way. Captain dead, very much dead. We might see the M40 being cleared out. Needs to go up the anti-tank and support. Bit of a lack of overlap then, anti-tank up to field for Spanky. And that Stug E is almost stretching. If that happens, that's going to be a very big nightmare for Spanky, considering his current force composition and the fact he's already suffered heavy infantry losses. Got the Jackson moving out. Now we got Spanky's men freezing their asses off as well. Not exactly a good condition there.
We're losing a capture point.
But Angreifen is once more on the warpath, pushing ahead with fervor and zeal.
Troops falling casualty to the cold.
More stuff dying from the cold. No prior vehicles there from the Jackson. I think that might have been a mistake. There you go, Panzers moving in. No Panzer specs on them though. Anti-tank gun cleared out in this case again. He needs to be a bit more careful with his anti-tank because he does have a tendency of sort of out in the open where they can easily be cleared out here by Angreifen's infantry. A bit of a tactical mistake, I might argue. Ooh, dual packs opening up on the Jackson. Bad news there. Looks like he does escape before the packs send it to Kingdom Come, though that was pretty damn close. And there you go, wrecking the American anti-tank gun there, denying Spanky another weapon there versus Angreifen's Sturmgeschütz. Oh, there we go! The M6 might there definitely paid itself off, knocking out the veteran 2 Stug E. And giving Spanky there a bit of breathing space versus opponent. Of course, question is how that's long that's going to last. We've got Tiger tank there clearly on the way. And now Angreifen's back to getting some fuel points and thus some fuel. So what will Angreifen do here? And what will Spanky do? I mean, Angreifen's basically keeping up the pressure there, using his currently superior numbers to strike here and there. He's got 3 Pioneers, 2 Grenadiers and a Panzer Grenadier unit, 2 Pack 4s and MD42 versus 3 Riflemen and also an MD42 and a Jackson. So the situation is looking a bit rough here for Spanky at the moment.
Casualty reports are flooding
More people continue to freeze to death, it seems. Not exactly a good statistic there for Spanky. MD42 versus MD42 here. Jackson moving northwards. Not really much for it to deal with here. They could be used to run down the Pioneers if it wanted, since he got no anti-tank weapons to deal with it. Yeah, MD42 getting flanked. Nothing to cover the flank though. Bumping through. There we go. We got Jackson charging through, leaving a huge plume of snow knocked up in the air, and there you go, trying to crush them. Gets the fire pit and gets poor Jürgen there with a 90mm armor piercing round. Much to his surprise. Chili Barrage there available. Good rifleman there from Angreifen. Leaves several of Spanky's riflemen in a poor position. Tiger tank very close there, though it does take a bit of note that he first gets one like 30 minutes into the game.
Let's go turn bad crowds.
Let's go turn bad crowds into dead crowds. What is this, a B movie? That's a rather cheesy one-liner. And there we go, we got a Tiger there. Arriving for Angreifen. The Tiger has been sent supports the Kampfgruppe to deliver maybe a final blow. And of course, the current sort of issue that's sort of been repeating itself here for Spanky's force again is he's had a bit of an issue dealing with armor, and that's only getting worse here with the Tiger arriving, and he's only got a single Jackson to deal with it. And he's already lost several anti-tank guns, either ones he took from the Germans, ones he made of his own, plus the Sherman. So it's overall looking a bit troublesome there for him. And now he's getting a bulldozer jump, probably to help deal with the infantry. Probably also good there was the anti-tank to get it in the correct space. Really should consider upgrading those riflemen, I feel, though. More firepower for them would certainly do a lot there versus Angreifen, in particular in a good flank. He could quickly do a lot of damage from being close to one. So there we go, we actually got some smoke going down, though. Follow-up grenade rather missed the mark. There we go. Bulldozer Sherman spotted as it moves ahead there. Pioneers rushed off. Tiger moving ahead. Pioneers moving in from the north. And there we go. Tiger took it there from the Jackson shot, though managed to fail to penetrate. Bit unfortunate there for Spanky. There you go, second shot though. Has none of that as an issue. Successfully penetrates the thick frontal armor there with the Tiger. Second shot missed, or failed. Pioneers moving to the north of this, the rear slumps got kind of this, or Panzer going to the end, Pioneers moving in as well. And there we go, Pack Forge moving up, Jackson needs to fall back, Jackson needs to fall back, there we go. Ah, he's not doing it, oh, there we go. Jackson knocked out, he was too slow in getting out of there. The rifleman getting murdered here by the Tiger. Bulldozer Sherman too far moved, so didn't give him any help. Infantry rushed off, not a single kill on it, and we got artillery going down there on the church. Spanky unleashing it all in an attempt here to crush Angreifen's assault. There we go, wiping an entire Grenadier squad there in one hit. Sherman falling back. Troops here reinforcing.
What the hell am I meant to do with these recruits? Green is green back to full strength. Well, grab your shit.
Not looking very good for Spanky now. He looked so strong, but now everything seems to have been sort of lost. If you can get the Tiger, there might be a chance of really getting back into this, but otherwise the chances are looking slim. I mean, he's got a few units there wiped from Angreifen's roster, but that's about it. You still got a large force. Spanky does not. And he's basically got no anti-tank options at the moment, which is a pattern that seems to repeat itself out throughout this fight quite a lot. Got rear moving up there. Panzer's in a bit of trouble, and Nice hit there. Almost got them wiped. Almost. And there you go. In fact, completely wiped. A small victory there for Spanky. We got an assault going in there. Pioneers leading the way there for the Tiger. And the Panzer Abwehrkanone. Pioneers forced off. There we go. We got an M1 anti-tank on the way. Tiger up there, fighting away the rear echelons. Almost got them. And there we go. M1 anti-tank arriving here.
The capture point is under attack.
Victory point still at 66 there, but they are ticking down there for Spanky. As his bulldozer there continues to try and get some kills, and normally there'd usually be about 2 of those, I believe, in the camp here, was the battalion. Can't fully remember the details. Usually they sort of provide heavier support for the rest of the Shermans. Little fun fact there in terms of organisation. They were in fact quite a organic part of such a unit. And not necessarily something you like, just consider sort of more doctrine attachment, so little fun fact. There's getting some good shots in there, rifling VARs, but he's also got the Meg here trying to do his part, but it's not really succeeding. Full retreat there from the Grizz might have been a bit too quick there to hit it. Sherman and anti-tank heading north. Rather than pushed away here by the Pioneers of all things up north there. Seems like both sides are getting a bit skittish at the moment. Just a bit.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
And Punira moving in there. Almost got them, almost. MG42 setting up.
AT gun ready.
Overall, Angreifen is now controlling the field much more smoothly, not smoothly. Got another Stugi there arriving. Very much been a reliance here on basically calling from Angreifen. Not what I particularly find as deeply exciting or novel, but there you go. We got an M4 up in the north. Sherman moving in there. And there we go. Almost got the MG42. Almost. Can he get it, or will the Pack 40 tear apart before that happens? Nope. Looks like he does escape there. In fact, both of them escapes the other. 82 on that Pack 40, which is definitely bad news for any American armor. We got the Tiger repaired here, by the way. Got the rifle now under fire. We got some mines that are being swept away. Looks like he actually laid down some aggressive telemines there, Mr. Angreifen. Interesting to note there. Might be setting up for another Jackson. I mean, he could go for an M10, but probably would be deemed rather risky here, considering the overall situation at the moment. And there we go. Rear echelons are very much tot. Kaput. Bit of a push here. Anti-tank gun can't really do much here. The Major taking heavy fire here from the German infantry advancing. 300 points left here for Spanky in this. Angreifen here playing a bit conservative with his Tiger. He's not really making any large pushes there. He might try to sort of avoid the same mistake that Spanky did, which of course might be overextending and then quickly getting his Tiger knocked out, for example. And going to tank guns swiftly cleared out there. The gun shield, not much proof there versus 2 light machine guns. We've got a lot of artillery barrels going down here as well. Right on the concentration infantry, right around here, the ambulance. Whoa. Got the one just as they recruit. Oh, even the man trying to escape in panic terror gets murdered by the artillery. That was rather tragic there for Spanky. But clearly no one escapes German artillery, and we got the Tiger moving in there. Could easily finish off the anti-tank gun. He's getting very close to being able to call in another Jackson. The question is, will it really be enough at this stage of the fight? Recruiting again, but not really a lot of durability left on the anti-tank gun, and there we go, Tiger Sends it off. We've got another one though in the north. He needs to get off those armor-piercing rounds. Armor-piercing rounds if he wants a decent chance there. Versus Angreifen's heavy armor. There's that almost wiped out. Veterans one there for the show. We got a light machine gun drop there. Small piece there. But strong map dominance. He could easily lay down a bunch of mines, sort of frustrating the advance there from Spanky. If you get hat the munitions, that is. Probably mindful to keep an eye on that. Betty 2 on the MD42. And almost getting cut down. We got a smoke screen going now. Can't help but feel that's a bit too late there. To lay down a smoke screen versus Angreifen now. You'd rather have plenty of opportunity. More gun is here to replace the one's lost light machine gun. They're secured by the rifleman. Got a small assault going up here, but right in front of this 2E. Again, Spanky does seem to take it rather lightly. It really has proved to be a rather large mistake. The grenade going off against the MD42. Almost getting the pack for the abandoned. Bulldozer Sherman, where is it? Oh, it's there. Second Jackson there on the way. And taking him hits there from all the pack forwards there. Sherman needs to get away. Rolling away there. After that, volley went in. Heavily damaged. Going to take some time for that. Get back in the fight. No roll. Spanky is confined to his own base. As Angreifen advances. Major cut down. Few shots of the anti-tank and still no armor-piercing rounds there, which really would be his major chance of getting us a good and reliable down set versus the Tiger.
Tank destroyer is ready for action.
Jackson forwards. There you go, pushed away.
Operations advises a severe cold front is moving in. Prepare for possible blizzard conditions. Send your orders. What the hell am I meant to do with these recruits? Green is green can be. We've dropped to 200 points.
200 points left here. Spanky seems to be thinking something. Not sure what though. Not sure what though. Jackson edging head, anti-tank, they're firing. No armor piercing round still. No armor piercing round still. Come on, Spanky, use armor piercing rounds. Oh, there we go. Cell shots went off there. Tiger down to half health. Pack 40, that was ready to cover. Climbing up infantry right in front of Shugi is not really what I would describe as the wisest of choices there by Spanky. He seems to have been very quick to split them up afterwards, probably realising he might otherwise be tempting fate to punish him harshly. Air smiles there being cleared up by the Sherman, moving ahead there. MD4 doing what it can to, well, keep the Americans off, that's not really doing much. There we go, wiped. Rifleman getting good hit on the rifleman. They could pull the grenade in return, but they might actually just want to get back and reinforce, but also warmed up a bit.
Armor here.
A very sluggish advance here from Spanky through the blizzard.
Ready. Send order. Armor ready.
Even as men are losing toes to frostbite.
Temperature keeps dropping. Men are freezing out there. A capture point is under attack.
We've even got bunkers here coming down the victory points. Angreifen taking no chances there. Sensible approach.
Our supply line just got cut off.
Trying here to get the pack 40. Interesting, he'd say it's a cover down south there. There's just some infantry, but there you go, cleared out. Got the Tiger though getting off hit there. Jackson not near where to support. We got a pack 40 coming from the north there. Stugi moving, clearing up the infantry. Again, Spanky seems to have a slight weakness there versus Stuggy. Rather than clear out that Pack 40 anti-tank gun. No, we need to be supporting the front line. Grenade going off the Pack 40 there. And Stuggy actually got a penetrating hit there as Bulldozer Germany could use target weak point here, but it looks like he's going to get knocked out by the Jackson. And there we go. Stuggy utterly wrecked. That's the third one he's lost. And the interesting enough, all managed to reach Veterancy 2. They weren't lost before that. 100 left there for Spanky. And Angreifen could easily get a second Tiger now if he wanted. He could also take up for a Panther easily if he wanted to. He hasn't bothered at all checking beyond the first tier. And there you go, second Tiger. Trying to do with the Pack 40 there. Gondiers there, off across the front line. And anti-tank got a hit through there. That was about it. Still no sign of armor piercing rounds in that thing. The Jackson really hasn't done much either. Except getting that Stuggy, but not the Tiger. Of course, got the second one there. Ramming, so Angreifen's forces are now much stronger in this area. Two anti-tank guns, but not really supporting each other. Well, in any sort of position where they can really do much sort of help him push forward. I mean, this one, for example, is way too far back to sort of be of any help. And there you go, Bunker starting the advance from the Major. He's sadly not quite got enough minutes to call in the barrage there, which could have been used to clear it out. He's got no smoke. Oh! Hit the entire unit. Tiger getting off some good kills there. And there you go, another Tiger flanking in there. Anti-tank gun, Jackson firing away. Veterans you want. Still no sign of any armor piercing rounds there from Spanky in his fight versus the Panzers. And there you go, another Jackson cooked up by the Panzerabwehrkanone. Rifleman wiped up there by the Tiger, and now it looks like all of Spanky's forces are on fire. No infantry left, and there we go. Game over. A loss there to the United States of America. I mean, interesting fight there. Angreifen started strong, but he was sort of rapidly pushed back by Spanky. Spanky then dominated, but Spanky made a few sort of, how should we say, critical mistakes. In part was, you know, the anti-tank. I mean, that was really sort of the large flaw in Spanky. When he got an anti-tank, and he never really pulled it back, and he never tried to sort of screen or probably protect. He left it very much out there on a limb, which easily allowed Angreifen then to get it back, for example. But also versus Stuggy, he just sort of ran his infantry about. He didn't really seem to take them seriously, which cost him quite dearly, time after time after time. For some reason, I'm not really sure about that. And also, you know, missed out on a chance to quickly get out some armor there. And that got, there seems to be some sort of slight issues there with Spanky's strategy. It sort of lacked some coherence, I felt. But also the way he then used his other anti-tank guns. They were always, you know, far removed, not supporting the front line, whereas Angreifen uses anti-tank guns pretty aggressive to support, but also, you know, sort of defend the vital points. Angreifen overall playing nice and aggressively. I would have liked to see some more tagging from him rather than just, you know, relying on mechanized assault. Collins and that guy, you know, a bit boring, to be honest, if I may be so harsh to say so. But overall, good use of units, good use of Pioneers and MD-42s and whatnot, really keeping the pressure up there for Spanky. And again, you know, allowing him to be that aggressive early on. He probably could have benefited from early Teller-mines rather than all those S-mines. I think that was a mistake there by Angreifen. But otherwise, you know, nicely played. And again, also nicely played for Spanky, but again, there seemed to have been a gap in his strategy when it came to, you know, dealing with the enemy armor, and that is rather what Angreifen in the end was able to capitalize on. So, you know, be sure to, you know, consider enemy armor, and he's going to get something. Sort of deal with any, you know, be careful with your own stuff, because that was also a bit the problem with Spanky. He didn't really seem to be careful, might have gotten a bit too excited. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this match. I hope you learned something from it. I hope it gave you some ideas for your own. If it did, why not subscribe, tell your friends, share it with everyone. If not, you know, send a replay or some feedback in the comment section. This is Imperial Dane. Cheers, and thank you all for watching.